to Draft Dreams, an Inside the Birds presentation profiling small school NFL draft prospects chasing their big dreams. I'm your host, Andrew DiCecco from InsideTheBirds.com, and with us today is Southern Methodist wide receiver Danny Gray, fresh off his impressive performance at the NFL Scouting Combine. Danny, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a really interesting journey, and it's definitely been eventful. So why don't we go back to your senior year in high school when you were in Texas? You initially committed to Missouri, but you were ruled academically ineligible. How were you feeling around that time?
I mean, it was hard. I felt kind of like I failed, but I just had to keep my mind like positive and just keep my family around me, and they just had to tell me like keep going. Uh, God put me on a different journey, so it just took longer than what it's supposed to.
So you go to Blinn College, which has some pretty notable NFL alumni, which Cam Newton and wide receiver D.D. Westbrook. That said, what were the first steps that you took when you went to Blinn, and what did you do to make sure that you got back on the field?
It was just head down, hard work. Like that was just it. It was just outwork the opponent. So we all, don't get me wrong, my brothers, you know, that team. I had a lot of brothers on there, but we all was here to work. We all was here to make it out of here. So yes, it was just head down, hard work, and outwork everybody. That was my mindset.
What did you learn about yourself from that time, and did it change you at all?
I just learned that pick your surroundings wisely and just never be satisfied.
So then from Blinn College, you commit to, I believe it was TCU, which at that time Jalen Rager was sort of coming into his own. And then I'm curious as to what led you to SMU from there.
So what led me to SMU besides the family vibe, it's around the corner from where I grew up. So I just wanted to be like I just wanted to be a stepping stone for like the younger generation, because I see a lot of kids with my type of talent that just get caught up in their environment. So I just wanted to be that person, that leader for them, to just show them that you don't have to be a follower. Man, you really can do this. So that's why I just wanted to be that testimony for them.
That's awesome. So, I mean, with that said, how would you describe your 2 years at SMU?
Man, nothing but success. I learned a lot. I made lifelong friends. I made friends that who can help me after my career. So my experience at SMU, it was great. Nothing under great.
And obviously, it has a very rich history of producing NFL wide receivers. You look at Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders. Obviously, more recently, you look at Cortland Sutton and James Prochet. So, how did SMU prepare you for the next level?
They prepared me tremendously. My wideout coach David Grew, he always held me accountable. He never just he always, no matter what I did good, he always just pushed me to make it better. So that also made me to be never satisfied, like in what you do. No matter if you go off for 130, next game try to do 140, next game
Yeah,
try to do 150. So yeah, he always taught me just never be satisfied, because the world don't care what you're going through. You got to go
right.
out there and you got to put up numbers. You got to go work.
Yeah, you got to clock in every day, as they say. So, um, you opted out of the Fenway Bowl, which ended up being, canceled anyway due to COVID. But as a competitor, Danny, how tough was it for you to opt out of that game?
It was really tough. I mean, it was going to be my last game with my brothers, so it was tremendously tough, especially mentally. So I just had I just had to make a business decision and get my mind right.
And then you have a major season. You eclipsed the 800-yard receiving mark. You had 9 touchdowns, which was third in the ACC. And I have to know how this goes because you parlayed this into a Senior Bowl bid. So, how did you learn about the invitation?
My head coach gave me the invitation when I came in. When I came in for like a workout, so he called me up to his office and he gave me the invitation.
And that was obviously a pretty exciting week. A lot of eyes on you, obviously. So, what kind of impression did you make, and really, what did you learn about yourself during that week?
Uh, Me overall, I think I made a great impression on myself. Not being late, handling my business perfectly. So I think
Mhm.
I made a great impression throughout that week. I learned that, man, this game, man, is fun. So just have fun with it. I mean, it's also serious, but man, this game is fun. So that's my biggest thing that I learned, and it's just be professional. You're a brand, so you got to take care of yourself like a brand, and that's really it.
Now, this whole process is obviously very strenuous, and it's nothing like anything you'd experienced before. So, how is it going through it with Reggie Roberson, your teammate, and sort of being able to bounce ideas off each other and lean on each other during these times?
Yeah, Reggie, that's my dog. We kind of just give each other new ideas, and we have a lot of former players in the league. So one particular player, James Prochet, he give us a lot of feedback, so stuff like that. So it kind of helps us like through this process, and we just get a lot of information, and we kind of feed into it, and we just mix around it in our own way.
The NFL Combine, there's a lot more that goes into the NFL Combine than many actually realize. There's a lot more that goes in besides the workout. So, what was that week like for you? Because there's a lot of in the early part of the week. I know there's a lot of waiting around, and you're kind of getting poked and prodded. So, can you sort of paint the picture of how that week was for you?
I mean, it's just a lot of meetings. You just got to be mentally prepared. That's it. You just have a lot of meetings, a lot of doctor's appointments. So that week is just it's a tough week. So you just got to be prepared for it mentally. That's really it.
Yeah. And you ran a blistering 4.33 40-yard dash. You definitely played at that speed, but was that sort of what you expected to run?
No, sir. I kind of pulled up. It's actually slower than what I'm usually used to. So I mean, we just got to get back in the lab and get right. That's it.
Yeah. Now you were a sprinter, so would you ever get into racing any guys like Tyreek Hill or DK Metcalf? And when's the last time you raced anybody?
I can't think of the last time I raced somebody, but I would definitely want to get Tyreek Hill and DK up in that mix. So yeah, I want to check some out.
Yeah, man, I think that'd be pretty interesting. I think you could definitely hold your own. Obviously, this is an Eagles centric podcast, so I have to ask: did you meet with the Eagles or speak with them at either the Senior Bowl or the NFL Scouting Combine?
I did. I think I met with them at both. I met with them at both.
Do you remember who you spoke with? Was it wide receiver coach Aaron Moorhead or was it Nick Sirianni or?
I think it was kind of like a scout person, kind of like a player personnel person, like
Oh,
that.
okay, cool.
Yeah. So I really don't think I met with the wide receivers coach yet.
What kind of feedback did you get after the combine? After you really put on a show there, and where are you training for the remainder of the pre-draft process?
Right now I'm at Exos in Frisco. So and kind of like the feedback that I got, it was pretty good. I mean, nothing bad. I mean, it's just that I have a few things to clean up, but that's all gonna get together in the lab. But the feedback that I got, I just have great routes. I have great speed. Um, it's just I can be an elite player in this league. So that's it. I just take that, I run with that, and just add that to the hard work.
Hmm. Now, one thing I always wondered, amongst wide receivers, are you guys sort of all talking and just wanting to go to a team that has a great quarterback?
Really, to be honest, it don't matter where we go because it's the receiver job to make the quarterback look good. So I mean, obviously, we just want to get in. That's the dream. That's it.
Is there any wide receiver currently playing that you would to?
Can you run it back to me?
Is there any wide receiver in the game right now at the pro level that you would compare your game to?
It's a few. Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Antonio Brown. Uh, I like my Tyreek Hill. I have a little bit
Yeah.
of Tyreek Hill in me after the catch. So yeah, I have a couple.
Now, in your own words, could you sort of describe yourself as a wide receiver, your traits and your skill set?
Yes, sir. I have great speed. I'm great in open space. I'm elite. I have great routes, and hey, I'm a deep threat.
Yeah. Well, with that said, what's your favorite route to run and why?
I like the post because the post give me it. It kind of give me the chance to split the defender, and
Mhm.
yeah, and if it's a great ball, and if it's an on the run ball, yeah, I get to really show off my speed.
Now, who would you consider to be the toughest corner that you faced last season, and how did you fare in that matchup? And what did you really, what was your approach?
It was a corner from TCU, number one. I really don't know his name like that, but I liked his game. I liked his game. Why? Because he was very technical and he had amnesia after the play. So no matter what, no matter what I did to him, he just came back and he just learned from that mistake and he just kept working on his craft in that game. So I liked him a lot.
Yeah, as a corner, you got to have a short memory.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever given any thought? I know we still were over a month away. Have you ever given any thought to, getting that phone call on draft weekend and what your reaction is going to be?
Yes, sir. I put in a lot of thought in that. It's just gonna just like it's just gonna open my eyes clearly that man, you here, you made it. It all seemed unreal to me. So it just, as a kid growing up, this all was a dream. So and then you hear that, oh, you're not gonna make it. It's a small percent, this and that. So just getting that call and just being able to say that you made it, that's just a surreal moment. That's it.
Now, you mentioned James Prochet. Did he really prep you at all as to what what to really expect here in the next month or so, and kind of keep you and Reggie grounded in that regard?
He kind of keep our head straight. We kind of much don't talk about like the draft or nothing like that. We're in the moment. So we talk about the moment from here on out. So like combine, get your mind right for combine. We basically take it step by step. That's our kind of motive to it.
You mentioned that you're training at Exos in Frisco. Are there any other NFL prospects or even teammates that you're working out with?
Yes, sir. I worked out with Traylon Burks, Reggie Robinson, Calvin Austin. It's a few guys up there.
The Eagles obviously have a lot of players from the Dallas-Fort Worth area: Lane Johnson, Jalen Rager, Greg Ward. So, have you met any of these guys? Are you familiar with them, and have you worked out with them at all?
I met with Jalen Rager. Yeah, we kind of chop it up from here and there. So I do have a workout scheduled tomorrow, and I heard he's supposed to be in attendance. So yeah, we kind of kick it, chat a little bit.
So, what does the next few weeks look like for you on your docket? Like, what do you how's that going to be shaping up?
We're in the lab in recovery.
What is a typical day? 'Cause I think this is important for people to know. What does a typical day look like for you from a training perspective?
From a trainer's perspective, okay, so I get up early in the morning. I go get that first training session at 8:30. First training session at 8:30. Then we got a backdoor another training session at noon. So that's two right there, and then I will have one at 3:30, sometimes 5 o'clock, and then after it will be recovery.
Are you going to be participating in your pro day at all, or are you kind of just going to sit that out?
I am going to be participating.
Are you going to do everything, or are you going to keep the 40 time?
I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Danny, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us. I know you got a lot going on right now, so I really do appreciate that. We wish you all the best in your future.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Draft Dreams and from Inside the Birds. And for Danny Gray, I'm Andrew DiCecco. Everyone have a great week.